another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka Mini Wargamer Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off the Lawn. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. We usually delve into a lot of painting talk, as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So if you're brand new to the show and, you need some help, feel free to ask your questions over in the chat, whichever direction it might be in. I don't know. And of course, if you have something more lengthy to say or you're not able to attend live, you can also ask your questions by sending an email to Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. And you can ask your questions there. You can ask for, help on a color scheme or a particular brush technique or whatever. Whatever is troubling you, feel free to ask your questions there. Or on the chat, whichever. Whatever. Of course, also in the description below is a link to wavethebrush.com. That is the central hub of all this silliness. It has links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Discord has been really fantastic. Join us there. We usually have the conversation going all the time in there, and it's usually a lot of silliness as well as a voice chat. People are in and out all the time, so feel free to join us there. It's a lot of fun, and but beware, it can get a little weird at times. So, but hey, that's the monkeys, and we're all a little bit weird. Also on wavethebrush.com has links to t-shirts. You want to help support the cause? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Wave the Brush t-shirt. Of course, send me a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also on wavethebrush.com. And, because who doesn't like looking at themselves, on the internets? Maybe I'll add it to the intro. Maybe I'll do another intro, a re-edit of the intro. Excuse me. Because I'm finicky like that. WaveTheBrush.com also has links for Patreon. If you're considering supporting monetarily, Patreon support is really fantastic. A big thank you to all my patrons who currently support me. Without their help, a lot of these upgrades and just upkeep wouldn't be possible. And, it would make me weigh the costs of whether or not this is worth my time. I enjoy doing this, and I really want to keep doing it. And so, and with patron support, makes it all very possible. Makes it very easy to do. And of course, I only ever charge per Way of the Brush, which is only once every Saturday. So how many weeks in a month? And I think you can work out, how much you'd be potentially contributing if you want to contribute. And of course, if you aren't able to contribute monetarily, you can also thumb up the video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that other social media stuff that, that we're all used to these days. It all helps. It all helps. Sharing. Another good one is sharing the video. That's another fun one. So yeah. And of course, big thank you to Guy Muir Alfer, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. It's a lot of fun. I tune in and it's just a lot of fun. And we always thank Carl for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles before the email segments of the show that just bring a smile to our hearts and blow out our eardrums. The eardrums part is my fault, not his. Because I haven't bothered adjusting the volume. And, I can't even be bothered. I can't be bothered. It's too much like work. So who's joining us today? I can see King 555, Monkey Time, Sophie Weil, Ola, Cirque, LOL. Hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Ola, because I sent out the tweet today that I was going to be doing the show, and I had done it in backwards, and so she's saying hello, Chris, in backwards. I know. I don't think I needed to explain it, but somebody out there might be like, what the heck does that mean? Ned Fink, hello, everyone, hello. Sync Up Sound, hi, all, hello. Cocking 555, playing with magnets. Ooh, like playing with magnets, or are you going to do some converting, or are you going to use them on your models? Is that what you're going to do, Cocking? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to just, I posted a bunch of videos, way back in the day on, magnetizing, Imperial Guards, what size to use for, magnetizing, the pistol options and, the swords and the arms and, trying to think what the heck the last thing I magnetized was. I want to say it was Reboot Gilliman, for the head swap, because he comes with 2 heads, and yeah, I think he looks cooler with the helmeted version, but some people want the unhelmeted version. Sure. Yeah, I think that was the last thing I magnetized. I can't think of anything else. I usually don't magnetize a lot of models. I don't know. Like I have a lot of weapon options on my models and stuff like that. I don't bother magnetizing them. If I really want, an autark with, a fusion gun and, a sword, then I'll model them that way. And if I want another one with that option, because usually whatever options I end up using, I usually just stick with those, right? So, like, for example, my Farseer, I could model him with either, a Witchblade or Singing Spear. But I only ever use the Singing Spears. I hardly ever use Witchblades. Unless, of course, the points are real small, not a lot of wiggle room, and, you gotta economize, as it were. And so, yeah. And so I always model them with the spears, because I like the spears. And spears is an extra shot, and, you use in close combat. You throw it, use in close combat, it does a lot of damage. No save modifier, but it's okay. Anyway, where was I talking about? Oh, right. Sir Peanut Butter. Howdy, Kris and Monkeys. Howdy. Scott Wag. Thanks for doing the vids. Well, thank you, Scott, for tuning in. And hopefully you find this informative. Feel free to ask your questions, of course. You know what? And I only have a few emails to do today. So, could be a short show. You never know. Ripley D. It's my duty to keep the monkey chat weird. Monkey chat weird. Ripley, yeah. I believe you, Ripley. I believe you. I do believe that you think it is your duty to keep the chat weird. Along with a few others that are just bonkers. Pretty much everybody's in there bonkers. I think anybody who's tuning into our Discord is pretty much, they've got a screw loose at some point. It's kind of just nuts and bolts falling out, and yeah, everybody's a mess. It's a wreck. It's a hot mess in there. It's a dumpster fire we all can't turn away from. We're just like, oh my god, and yeah. Catfish. All hail the Monkey Lord over on Twitch. George Hintz. Hi, George. Aaron Seach. Howdy, Kris and the Monkey family. What is everyone working on? Relic Blade minis for me today. Relic Blade minis. Awesome. Yeah, I seen you posted that you got your Wilderkin and the other faction. I like the Wilderkin. I'm still working on my gang. I just, what I need to do is I need to make a list of all my current projects that I want to get done. And I think I'm going to set that as my goal for 2019. A goal, because there are a lot of things on my list that are like, oh, I gotta get that done. Oh, I gotta get that done. Oh, I gotta get that done. I got a bunch of Wraiths here. This is all Wraithguard right here. And I've got, Spirit Seers. And, I got my Blood Bowl team. And we got the Patron Paint Along model going on. And, of course, I still got to finish off Abaddon. And the work is slow. Lately I've only been able to get, like an hour or two time to sit down and play with them. Especially too this week was the move to the mini wargaming bunker, and man, that did me right in. Moving all them boxes, oh man, that was a pain. It was pain, right in my lower back. Cocking 555. 1 bit equal 1 cent. 1 bit equal 1 cent. I'm not familiar. Beer and Blood Bowl, there he is. Yo, howdy monkeys and Monkey Master. First live show in a while. Well, welcome, Kyle. Welcome. Speaking of the devil, and he shall appear. Dark Commission, hi, mighty one and all. Hello, Dark Commission. Aaron Seach, better get them done by Adepticon 2020, because we are going to throw down. Yeah, I know. I better get them done. I know. It's so many projects, and you know, and who knows what's coming down the pipe, and it's just, you know, so many projects, so little time. I do really wish I could just, you know, kind of sit down. I mean, I say that, but, you know, I'd probably still procrastinate. Plus my Gundam. And then I went on the trip to Chicago, and I went to one place there, and they sold Gundams, and I was like, oh, Gundam. And I was looking at, oh wow, and the prices were like, were really good. And I was like, oh wow, and I'd seen some of them, like, and they were like a little bit more pricier, and I was like, oh, and these prices were really good. And what it was like this. I can't remember what it's called. Too Cool. I think it was called the store was called Too Cool. The store was Too Cool, and it was a lot of like imported Japanese type stuff. Like it wasn't just Gundams, but it was like Gundams, Bandai. It was like a lot of Hello Kitty, and you know what I mean, like all the iconic kind of Japanese stuff that comes out of Japan. You know, like the animation and all that. Dragon Ball Z. They actually had the Dragon Balls like in a case, and you could get the Dragon Balls. I thought that was really cool. I was like, I don't even watch Dragon Ball Z, but I was like, that looks really cool. And, you know, that'd be fun. Just to roll them around, play marbles. Anybody out there used to play marbles? Oh, probably only a few of you old cats probably played marbles. Some of you are like, marbles? What the hell? What kind of old geezer am I listening to? Cut King 555 magnetizing a knight. A Karen? A Karen? Is that how you pronounce that word? Karen? A Karen? I always want to say a Charon, but that'd be like a Chili's, right? It's not a Chili's, it's a Achilles. A Karen? So it's a Karen? A Chili's? I just love that meme with the Wheel of Fortune, buddy. Yeah, the legendary hero of Chili's. Nope, sorry. Catfish. I posted on Mini Wargaming Painting Auxilium, my great unclean one, and I'm still struggling with creating a vibrant eyeball. I will send an email for next week's show. Cool. I played Pogs when I was a kid. Pogs. I remember Pogs. Pogs. Who could forget Pogs? And some of you might even be too young for that one, too. Pogs. Never taken me way back. But yeah, I used to play marbles. G Squared. Hey, monkeys. Hey, Master of the Brush. Hello, G Squared. Eldari Lamborghini. Hello, monkeys. G Squared. It's Acheron. That's Acheron? Well, that don't make no sense. How is that Acheron? Because, I mean, I see a Charon or I see a Karen, but it's Acheron. What other spelling ACH do you get that ash sound? What, like, please, somebody. I mean, I'm no language major. I'm not a master of literature. So please explain to me. I know there's some clever monkeys out there who can explain this to me, because this doesn't make sense to me. It's Acheron. That's not how you spell Acheron. Well, I mean, I can't argue that it's not how you spell it, because apparently that's how you spell it. But show me another example where ACH is ash. I'm drawing a blank. Okay. This, you know what? This is, Kris needs help. Kris needs help explaining this to Kris. Spell it out. Pretend I don't know nothing about nothing, and spell this out for me, please. Anyway. Acheron. Yeah, I don't get it. Oh, Aaron Seach. Holy shit, somebody said Pogs. Thanks for the flashback to 95. Like a flashback, like a proper, like, did you have like an acid flashback? You're just kind of, whoa. I remember Pogs. Whoa. Those were great, man. You were like, basically Pogs were kind of like Tiddlywinks. Wasn't it? Wasn't it Tiddlywinks? I never played with Pogs, so I you know, but I remember them being around everywhere. My brothers had them. And I thought it was like Tiddlywinks, you know, where you kind of flicked them, like you had one and it, you know, and it sent them flying. I thought that was a thing. I thought that was a thing, right? I don't know. Anyway, G squared, like what you say makes sense. Yeah, like what I say makes sense. I mean, I don't make sense, right? Okay, yes, I can agree to that. I don't make a lot of sense. But how the hell does Acheron? How do you pronounce that as Acheron? Because where in spelling do you see ACH make an ash sound? That's what I'm asking. I'm not debating whether that's how that's pronounced and that's how it's spelled. And I'm okay. Yeah, that's okay. Moving on. But where else in spelling does, I mean, like where do you see that spelling and that pronunciation, that you come to that conclusion that that's how that's properly that's how it's properly spelled? I'm like, really, I'm stuck on like a gear and I can't get out. Seriously, hello, seriously, over on Twitch. William Jolly, fantasy names never make sense in real English. Now is it a I thought Acheron was, I thought there was like a Greek thing. I thought it was a Greek name. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I'm not a Greek mythology major either, so I cannot say. But anyway, Arik 13, Acheron Ash Aaron. You need tout think on Latin language. Whoa, what? Latin? It's Latin? Yeah, I don't I'm still trying to see the word, and I mean, like, I don't see it. G squared, French perhaps? Didn't Rackham have Acheron as one of their faction? Sure, but I'm talking about, how do you come to Ash, ACH, and pronounce it as Ash? How do you come to that conclusion when that is not the typical sound you make when ACH are together? That's what I'm saying. Please, in the English language, show me a word where ACH is Ash. Right? That's what I'm saying. Clayton Tate, what is up, Buttercup? Nothing, Clayton. Sitting here talking, shouting at the universe. Clayton Tate, episode 247. Show me your tiddlywinks. Show me your tiddlywinks. Well, isn't that what Pogs was? Wasn't that tiddlywinks? It was a version of tiddlywinks. I know. Now, again, I'm showing my age and talking about tiddlywinks because tiddlywinks was something way back in the day. But you know, yeah, I thought that's what Pogs were. They were like bigger versions of tiddlywinks. I could be wrong. I don't. Of course, maybe I was playing it wrong, or maybe I was in an alternate dimension where tiddlywinks was just, you know, a version of, you know, Pogs, or Pogs and tiddlywinks were a version. Eldari Lamborghini. Nerd info coming in. Okay. Cocking. Acheron? Oh, now we're saying it's Acheron? Acheron is a root Greek, making it an ak noise. Acheron. Okay, well, I thought it was, now I'm being told it's Acheron. It's not Acheron? G squared. Okay, then I stand corrected. All these years and models, I thought it was Acheron. George, trash. Trash? You're trash. Call me trash? You're trash. G squared, because the French don't use ac. G squared, Rackham were French, I thought. I believe Rackham was French, but I don't Aaron's each episode 247. Atch hats. Or ack hats. And box. Ash hats. Dark Commission. Moustache. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. But the E at the end gives you that indication. But did Asheron? Yeah, Asheron does have an E at the end. Okay. All right. Good call. Ash. Yeah, mustache. Mustache. Good call. Good find, Dark Commission. See? Okay. But how do you normally come to that conclusion, though, when he's pronouncing a word? But yeah, I guess stash. Yeah. That's interesting. Is there another example of that? Clayton Tate, I spent all my time in the woods as a kid. I can't tell the difference between a pog and a tiddlywink. G squared, episode 247. My pogs are bigger than your marbles. Mad Hoser, there he is. Grow some hair, you anti-hippie. Anti-hippie? Anti-hippie? What's an anti-hippie? I don't know what an anti-hippie is. What's an anti-hippie? Grim. I just know Pog as a person other than a grunt. Also, hello, everyone. Shogun Ka, William Ka. Oh, no, the mean people are back. Clayton Tate, is it a Charon? That's what I thought. It was a Charon or a Charon, right? But b, right? Whereas, I don't know. But I immediately wouldn't go to Asheron. I mean, I'm not saying G squared is wrong. I don't know. Maybe you know what? Let's put it into Google Translate. Put that word into Google Translate. Say it's Latin and hit the audio and hear what it sounds like. I'm not saying Google Translate's 100%, but it's pretty damn close. Clayton Tate with the hard K. Yeah, I don't know. Sure. Made up words anyway. Apparently. Cocking Willie the Brush, episode 247. Tomato. It's all the same model. Tomato or tomato. Tomato or tomato. I'm falling into a deep dark groove here. Oh man, it's too early in the show to be just completely derailed. Red Dragon Model Works. Hello, Red Dragon Model Works. Haven't read that name in a long time. Afternoon, Kris. Missed you at Adepticon this year. I was at Adepticon this year. I just wasn't at Adepticon this year. I was at Adepticon. I was more spectator this year. Well, I did 2 classes, and we also did a meet and battle event on the Friday night. Started at like 6, and we had it was a big apocalypse game. And so I was at Adepticon. I have pictures to prove it. I was there. And I had brought my family with me, and I had been to Chicago. That was the 4th time going to Chicago, and that was the first time of actually checking out Chicago. So, reasons. And of course, when you bring the family to something like that, and you're juggling your time between the two, you want to spend time with the family and do family and touristy type stuff, and then you got the convention, and you want to see people and interact with everybody, and and of course you got commitments, the classes and battles and stuff like that they want to maintain, and of course I was late to the bring-in battle. I think I might have gave Matt a mild heart attack. I don't know, but anyway, it's okay. He's young. He's got a strong heart. Dark Commission. Cash. That's it. Oh yeah, cash. That's a word I see all the time. Cash. Yeah. But see, it's always preceded by the E. So would it be Ashron? If that were the case, if you're gonna go by that, ACHE, right, being ash, because the E at the end always, right, tells you that's how you pronounce that word. Because sometimes it's also cachet, I hear, but that's when it's got the little accent above the E. But anyway, would it be Ashron? Would it be that? Would that be the proper way to say it? I don't know. Somebody Google Translate that. Put it in the translate. I'd do it right now, but I'm not. Well, you know what? Screw it. I might. Because we're not doing anything important right now, are we? No. Okay, hold on here. Let's go. So you're saying, okay, so I went from Eldari there. Okay, let's go over to Google. Google, help me out, Google. Google, help me. Help me out, Google. Where's translate? Where's translate? There it is, translate. Okay, let's see. Okay, Google. Let's put that in. Boom. It says it is one of the rivers of Hades. Ooh. Okay. It says it's English detective. Is this English? Yeah, it's English detective? Okay, let's listen.
Acheron.
It says Acheron.
Acheron.
Oh, she said it slower that time. She being real sensual with me.
Acheron.
Oh, now she's more quickly. Acheron.
Acheron.
Acheron. Ah. She says it slower that time. I could sit here and play with this all day.
Acheron. Acheron.
See, she says it different. Anyway. I don't know. Apparently, okay. So wait. Okay, so maybe that's wrong. Maybe Google see, like I said, Google Translate is not always right. Let's say it is Latin. Where's Latin? There's Latin. Okay, Latin.
Acheron.
She still says it the same. Oh wait.
Acheron.
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 Acheron. Okay, that's according to Latin. What about Greek? Let's say Greek.
Acheron.
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 Oh, much slower though, apparently. Acheron. Kind of scary voice too. Scary voice.
Acheron.
She sounds kind of. See, she's not as pleasant as this one.
Acheron.
Yeah, she sounds nice. You know, she sounds pleasant. This one's kind of.
Acheron.
Yeah, she's kind of condescending. It's like, listen, it's Acheron, dummy.
Acheron.
Yeah, no. This one's nicer. I like her.
Acheron.
Ooh, she's saying slowly again for me. Acheron. Okay, let's get the hell off. Jesus. Oh, jeez. Okay, where the hell am I in these comments here? I gotta go back a bit. Holy carmoles. Mad Hoser. Long hair, hippie, so short hair, anti-hippie? So, okay, so a hippie's long hair, anti-hippie short hair? Alright. Cocking. Moo? Moo. Dr. Xantos, I'm late, but I'm here. Hello, monkeys. Monkey Lord. Hello, Dr. Xantos. Grim, according to Wiki, borrowed from Latin, Acheron from the ancient Greek, Acheron, said to be from, holy carmoles, that's a bunch of text there. I ain't even going to try to read. The stream of woe. Did that help? No, it didn't. At all, because you basically copied and pasted the Wiki thing, and it just threw a bunch of Greek text at me, and yeah, with all those accents, and like there's double accents, and yeah, not even gonna try. And then what is like the straight up one above, like the O, and it's got a straight line across it? Like, what the hell? Catfish. I hope you went to Kuma Burger, best burgers. You know what? No, I didn't. Some of the boys went to it, and they had a blast. I had gone a year or two previous. We went, and it was like super busy, and I was like, no, it's great, you know. But yeah. Next time, Kuma's Burgers. Yeah, that's still on my list, and it's nice and close to the convention center. So, yeah. Red Dragon Models, LOL. Johnny's Chop Shop. We the Brush, episode 247. Down the rabbit hole we go. Yes, apparently. G squared. Apparently, Acheron is a river in Greece, and I'm wrong. The CH is a hard K sound. Hey, man. You know what I mean? Can't always be. I'm wrong all the time. I'm wrong a bunch. I gotta slow down. Aaron Seach should put a monkey team together for 40K team tournament next year. Interesting idea. That is an interesting idea. That is a very interesting idea, Aaron. Because then we could like, you know, wear a uniform and make a banner, right? That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it? Okay, if you guys just okay, let's carry this conversation over to Discord later. Okay. Like later. But yeah, that's an interesting idea. Team tournament. Let's do a monkey team tournament for Adepticon. That sounds like fun. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Matt Hoser, WTH, is with this chat timer thing now. Cash, I annoyed Division 2 clan mates with Cash Me Outside. Cash Me Outside? Clayton Tate, Dark Commission, is on it. He is on it. Dark Commission's a clever fella, man. Don't underestimate the Dark Commission. Or overestimate him. But definitely don't underestimate him. What if you do overestimate them? No, if you overestimate, then it's over. G squared, it was also the name of the planet in Alien. Was it? I don't remember now. Did it mean the first Alien movie? Was it? I'm gonna watch Alien later. So yeah, you convinced me. I'm gonna watch Alien later. Clayton Tate, I am a genius. The voice of the Emperor. Hey, Kris and monkeys. Can't stay long as I have an evening meet with friends. Been practicing with Liquitex Gold Ink and getting better results. Working on a Helldrake. Will send pics when finished. Please do. Catfish episode 247. I can play with this all day. I like it. I'm going to use it. It seems very appropriate for old Kris. Because sometimes, like a day like today, where it's kind of gloomy out, and it's not much else going on. This is actually a pretty good kind of hobby day, right? So, well, at least for everybody in this area. I don't know about where you guys are, but for us, it's dark and gloomy. It's kind of rainy. We're getting into the spring weather, so it gets a lot of rain and that stuff, and so yeah. Green Stoof, hello at Kris and chat. I'm having my morning coffee before I do some weekend hobbying. Awesome. What you working on? G squared at Kris, you are easily amused. I am easily amused. I am. I'm like a cat with a ball of yarn. Just chuck it at me and I'll watch me go. Yeah. Dark Commission. Machete. Right. But again, the ACH is followed by the E. So is that automatically that it makes the sh sound? And what rule is that? Is that from French or Spanish or something? Like, I don't know. Again, I'm not a literary major, so I have no idea. I barely read. Mad Hoser, Hackathon? Hackathon? What's a hackathon? What are you hacking? Mad? Do they even use that term anymore? Hacking? Yeah. Is that still a thing? Or is it just the old timers that still use that expression? The voice of the Emperor. Any tips on avoiding brush strokes in gloss varnish, as I'm using varnish to give a glass look to the panels on the Helldrake? Well, when you're doing it by brush, usually with the gloss varnish, there's kind of two ways you can go about it. The one way I really don't recommend is what kind of depends on what gloss varnish you're using, because some gloss varnishes are a little thinner than others. Like if you're using Ardcoat, which is a gloss varnish from Citadel, it's very thick. It's a heavy-bodied paint. It's a paint, essentially. And it's the medium. It's the binder, but anyway. And some are very thin. You'll get some like Vallejo's. Vallejo's is a thinner bodied paint, and it flows out more thinly. But the thing is that with some mediums, they come out of the bottle kind of murky or milky, and so that can be kind of deceptive. And you got to be careful of that. And you just got to know that when you lay it down, it will dry clear. Kind of like white glue. PVA glue. PVA glue is kind of white. and then when it dries, it's clear. So it's some mediums are like that. Vallejo isn't the only one that does that. There are some other mediums that do that. I think like Golden is one. But anyway, so it depends on what gloss medium you're using. Now, I don't really recommend applying it unthinned, but I would not, if you're not that comfortable with how to just slightly thin a paint, especially something thick like Citadel, like Ard Coat, because with Ard Coat, I have done it on models. I don't have an example here, but I did it on like my like the helmets of my Seer Council, and I have like the faces, the black face mask. I have that with a gloss, so it's kind of glass like, right? Just did it real quick. I didn't do a whole lot, but anyway, I take the Ard Coat and I thin it just a little bit with the dampness of the brush, just to break it down just a bit, and then I apply that, and then I will let that dry, and then I'll apply a second layer, thinned out. And then what I'll do is maybe on the third or fourth layer, of course, alternating brush strokes, right? To reduce the odds of that. I'll take a little bit more water, thin that gloss medium down with, almost, I don't want to quite say 1-to-1, but it's close to 1-to-1. More medium than water, but close to a 1-to-1 ratio. It would be more like a 1-to-0.7, right? Something along those lines. I know. Decimal points and fractions and, whatever's. But anyway, and I would break it down to about that, and then apply a fairly generous amount on top with that very, very thinned out gloss medium. And because I will apply that in a fairly generous fashion, but because it's very thin, it will sit on top of all the surface, and then when it dries, it reduces down, and it usually gives me a very glossy, smooth, glass-like finish. Now, having said all that, another way to get a really great glossy finish without having to really thin it down, and especially because the Heldrick has all them little panels, it would actually keep, because I'm going to assume you're going to do the inside parts of the panels, right? I would use Pledge. I would use Pledge, because Pledge, straight out of the bottle, it flows like water. It's very, very thin. You can use a regular paintbrush to apply it, although I would probably use a synthetic brush just for giggle's sake, but Pledge washes out with soap and water just fine. And apply that not too heavily, but I would apply about 2 or 3 layers of that, and you can wait till that dries. And it dries relatively quickly, especially when you're dealing with small amounts. Just fill a little container up with it and just and just apply. And what's great about Pledge is that it has a self-leveling quality to it. And so if you just put like a little dot on a surface and it looks like it's kind of a bulb, like a bubble, it eventually kind of just spreads out. And that's the self-leveling quality that we like. And that's often why a lot of modelers will use Pledge for finishing their models, because it just goes on really well. And we spray it on my airbrush, and at first it'll look kind of matte and not really glossy, and then all of a sudden it just goes and it becomes matte, or becomes glossy, and it's like, wow, what happened there? Like, so hopefully Voice of the Emperor that helps. Again, when looking to avoid brush strokes, whatever material you're using, alternate, thin down and alternate your brush strokes. That's the key to getting a nice smooth base coat or varnish layer, or just having to minimize the amount of brush strokes left behind. It's not a perfect system, but if you build it up many, many thin layers, it'll work. You'll be fine. Alpha Eric's at Kris. Hope you're well, sir. Thank you. I hope you're well as well. Hope you're well as well. Well as well. Anyway. Nathaniel, hi Kris and hi monkeys. Hello, Nathaniel. Nathaniel, I hope you're well. I'm unfortunately recovering from a dog bite. What? Which leaves me one-handed. Good God, it bit your hand off? Can't do a lot of things right now. Good grief. Yeah, I'm gonna need more info on that one, Nathaniel. What happened? Are you a mailman? and a dog bit you, and you were delivering mail, and the dog bit you, and it bit your hand off. And of course, it bit you on your good hand, your dominant hand. And so now, oh, Jesus. Now, you have to, no, never mind. I was going to go somewhere, but never mind. Aaron Seach, I haven't even made it to Portillo's yet. Now I have another place to try. Holy carmoles. Aaron, you've never been to Portillo's? Say it isn't so. Alpha Eric's Dude Kuma's Corner. The burger place has an Adepticon themed burger every year that you can get during the convention. Really? Damn. Call in the order. Oh. I might have to. J Plasma, hello monkeys, hello. Raziel, what up? What up? G Squared, Wikipedia. Archaron LV 426, the planet where the film Alien and its sequel Aliens are primarily set. Yeah, see, I always knew it was LV 426. I didn't know it was a Charon. A Charon. Cocking. Welcome to Portland, Kris. It is a hobby day every day. Kris. Is that my name now? Kris? I'm Kris. Hello, I'm Kris. Dr. Zantos, it's pretty sunny here today. Good day, but sadly no one wanted to go with me for some drinks. Aw. Well, if I was there, Doctor, I'd totally go and do some drinks. In Norway? Yeah, Norway, that's it. Nathaniel, it's 24 degrees Celsius here, Frankfurt, Germany. Sunny and very nice outside. Unusual for this area and time of year. Interesting. Sounds like some lovely ass weather. Mad Hoser, a hackathon, also known as Hack Day, Hackfest, Codefest, is designed sprint-like event with computer programmers and others involved in software development, including graphic designers, interface designers, project managers, and others, often including domain experts, collaborate intensively on software projects. Sure. Huh? Sir Peanut Butter, hack the planet. Hack it. Just hack it. Green Stuff, forgot to tag you in the above message, but a shadow box for my Kingdom Death Monster Mini on 50mm wide base. Cool. Voice of the Emperor, Vallejo is the gloss varnish at the moment. I also have Vallejo thinner medium. Yeah, I would use just the gloss varnish and just the dampness of the brush. And just thin it a little bit. Lay a little layer that way. Lay a little layer that way. Thin that varnish down a little bit and apply a fairly generous layer. Not heavily so it's overly saturated and it pools up in the corners, but a little bit more than what you previously were laying down. We're talking like 3 or 4 layers. If you apply it in a thinned out fashion. And of course, alternate your brush strokes. You should be fine. Aaron Seach, I prefer Future for sealing when I want gloss. My whole night that I brought to Adepticon was sealed with Future. Cool. I like Future. I use Future all the time. Voice of the Emperor, thanks for the advice, Kris. I will look into Pledge and see if it works for me. Please do. Give it a shot. And it's only like $10 for a big old bottle of it, and it'll last you a long time, and you'll do tons of models. I always gloss, like when I varnish, I gloss varnish first, and then if I want matte, I do matte. So, yeah. Mad Hoser, well, that was me making it go bing. Evil. How is that evil? How is that evil? I don't know. Dr. Xantos, I'm mailman. I'm a mailman, but haven't seen any dogs around. You're a mailman. A mailman. George hints you are Harry Krishnan. Krishnan? Krish? Because of Krish? Maybe. Aqua. Holy camoles. Holy, I haven't caught a stream in a while. Hello, people. Hello, Aqua. And by the way, Kris, you're in the Monkey Playground voice chat. Son of a bitch, am I? You slimy. I was in Discord. What the fritz? It's this streamer mode on Discord every time I fire up my streaming software, yeah, it always bumps me into, if I have Discord up and then I start the streaming software, it always puts me automatically into Discord because I have the counts connected. So yeah. Anyway. Royo! Hi, Kris. I never catch the show live, but I always see it afterwards. Well, welcome, Royo. Dr. Santos. Kris, I'm from Finland, not Norway. Finland. I knew that. I was testing you. I was making sure, you know. It was a test. You passed. You passed the test. Good job. You're in. Royale with cheese. What would you recommend to paint skin like in heavy muscular guys like acolytes? What would I recommend to paint skin like in heavy muscular guys? What would I recommend? Like in as far as colors, or do you mean like as far as application? As far as colors, because they're heavily muscular, they got some great detail where, you know, you can put in some nice deep shadows. So, for example, you could start off with acolytes. I mean, you could start off with Cadian Flesh Tone, or you could start off with Bugman Glow. I would probably start off with Bugman Glow. Highlight with Cadian Flesh Tone. Shade Wash with Reichland Flesh Shade. Or even maybe, if I was feeling particularly adventurous, maybe thin down Agrax Earth Shade and apply that. And then highlight with Kislev Flesh, and maybe find a little dots of highlights of Pallid Witch Flesh. Just very little highlight. Now, as far as application is concerned, if that's what you're talking about, yeah, with heavy muscular, I mean, you can do a straight up layered highlight, you know, building the highlights up to the, you know, to the high points on the muscle groups. You can apply those. You can either layer them either by, you know, straight up applying layers or glazing, whatever technique you're comfortable with. Another fun one that I like to do for heavily, like especially on like the shoulders and like the biceps and stuff, I like to paint the striations. You know what I mean? You know, when somebody's like really ripped. I'm doing this. I'm not ripped, but I'm just as an example. And you know they're flexing. You can see like all the tendons, and you can see all the striations in the muscle. And I like painting that sometimes. You know, so you paint those individual little strands like that in the muscle, and it requires you to kind of study a little bit of anatomy to kind of get an idea on how those lines flow along the muscle groups. But it's a lot of fun. You know, and you can push that as far as you want. Like, you know, you can start off with a really dark tone and build the up so that even in between each muscle is quite dark. Or the way I kind of like to do it is the shadow points are still darker. The main muscle groups are the mid-tone, and then the highlights. So it's not too dark in the recesses. It's more just like, it's more of a subtle kind of look rather than really super contrasty where it's dark in between each of the fibers of muscle kind of thing, right? So, yeah. Royo, yeah, as far as that's concerned, yeah, that's kind of how I would go about it. I do have quite a few videos on painting flesh, on, you know, heavy muscular dudes. Sounds like a different kind of channel. And and of course they are in Mini Wargaming's Vault. If you're a Vault member, just, you know, type in flesh in the search engine. If you're not a Vault member, you can try it out for free for 7 days. Make sure you get the silver membership so that you can see all the videos. And I'm sure you'll stay a Vault member when you see the wealth of information that is there. But yeah, quite a few videos on flesh. I don't know if I've painted the acolytes though, because the last time I saw the acolytes, maybe I did, was the Silver Tower box set. Silver Tower game, I should say, not box set, but the game. And yeah, that was the last time I saw acolytes and like the beast dudes and something else. But yeah. Nathaniel Kris. No, I'm not a mailman. I still have my hand trying to keep another dog from biting mine, but then bit me, and now I have my left hand bandaged. Did you have words with the owners of said dogs? Or were you mistreating the dogs and they bit you? Or were you minding your own business and the dogs just ran up and bit you? Were they on their property? Or was it out in public? Were the owners reprimanded? Because it's the owner's fault. It's not the dog's fault. Dogs are dogs. Can't fault a dog for being a dog. But you can fault an owner for being a bad owner and not training their dogs properly. So, at least that's how I see it. It's like bad kids. Yeah, I don't believe in bad kids. I believe in bad parents. It's never the kid's fault. Can't blame a kid for, how they were raised. You blame the parent. Parent's fault. Bad kids, it's bad parents. Same thing. Matt Hoser, I subbed again. Dance fool, dance. Monkeys want a show for their money. They want a show. Like, I can hear Missy Elliott in my son's room. He's listening to Missy Elliott, so I'm kind of going to that beat right now. Anyway, luckily, that's not how I enticed the opposite sex in my early displays of maleness. I don't know where the hell I'm going with any of this, but yeah, there certainly wasn't my dance moves. I can tell you that. It wasn't my dance moves. Actually, I didn't even really have any moves, actually, when I think about it. It's kind of a caveman-like approach, I suppose. Oh, man. That's probably more than a lot of you wanted to know, right? Disco Duke. Hey, monkeys. Better late than never. Welcome, Disco Duke. Dark Commission just sent an email of Way the Brush Picks. Cool. Awesome. Did you? Oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah, Dark Commission. I see it. There we go. Excellent. It's all coming together now. Excellent. Hold on. One more time.
Acheron.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I must be still tired. Clayton Tate, holy shit, Kris, put the guns away. I know. Jeez. Anyway, Dark Commission. I was a UK mailman, postie, for 5 years. Got bit by 3 dogs. Holy kermoles. You were bit by 3 dogs? That's crazy. And you're still alive? Like, was it 3 dogs in one sitting, or like over the course of your 5 years? It was 3 dogs. Because once a year, like, that's barely once a year. That's, that's not bad. It's not bad odds. As a postman, I assume they're getting bit by dogs all the time. At least, like, once a week. Because, I mean, he's got to go deliver a letter to that shitty house with the mean dog, you know what I mean? Like, at least once a week, I would assume. Of course, I'm assuming. Dark Martian, this week's full moon is a strain now. I believe in the full moon phenomenon. I know, you're going to say, Kris, there's nothing to it. You're a complete idiot. And you'd probably be right. But yeah, I mean, as far as we understand, gravity, the oceans, gravity's effect on water, right? Our bodies are over 70% water. There's no telling what gravity actually does to us. And so when the moon is passing by, combined with the large amounts of light, who knows? Realistically, the moon's always passing by us, right? And it's always affecting the water, and it doesn't matter how much it's illuminated, right? But it's a weird phenomenon on full moons. It just seems like the silliness begins. And I drove cab for quite a few years, and I dreaded working full moons because who knows what kind of night I was in for, because it just seemed like, again, it's completely anecdotal, but it just seemed like, man, the freaking crazies were everywhere. I don't know. Nathaniel and Kris, it was in public, and I'm pressing charges against the owners as their dog was supposed to be on the leash 24/7, and he wasn't. Okay, yeah. Well, as long as the owners are getting in trouble, good. Because, yeah, if that dog's supposed to be up on on a leash, chained up, what have you. You know? Yeah. Good. That's good. Unfortunately, though, now here's the part that I don't agree with. Okay? The unfortunate part is, the most likely, especially if the dog has a history of biting people, whatever, right? They'll put the dog down. That doesn't seem right. They put the dog. It wasn't the dog's fault. The dog is just a dog. It's not like the dog said, "Oh yeah, there's that guy. I'm gonna bite him." I mean, he might have said that. That might have been the process, but he has like no control. That's all instinctive, right? And really, the owners should pay. Maybe we put the owners down. It's an option, right? All I'm saying is maybe we just put that on the table. And maybe people will smarten up about having pets. Because, yeah. Anyway. Mad Hoser. Sister was a nurse. Speaking with other nurses, they swear weirder shit happens on full moon days, especially in the ER. Yeah, I remember when I was working in the hospital. Yeah, weird crap would happen. I noticed it more, though, when I was a cab driver because I was dealing with, drug addicts and crazies and hookers and, what I mean? So, anyway. Aaron Seach was a cable guy for 10 years, almost got bit by a dog once, but he met the business end of my signal meter to the head. Oh, man. Oh, poor guy. All you gotta do is just give him a little tap on his nose. That's like getting kicked in the balls. Just tap on the nose. Hey, watch yourself, buddy. And let him know. Tap on the nose. Hey, watch yourself. Because you're about to get effed up. And that usually can it's like when grizzly bears attack you. And, not that I know from experience. It's in theory. Because it's a very sensitive spot on their bodies. And you always go for the sensitive spots when threatened. So, yeah, because dunking a dog on the head, I mean, you don't know if the owners do that to him. And that's what drove him batshit, right? So, yeah. Just a little dunk in the nose. You tell him, hey, That lets him know. Then he'll respect you. And that's more important. That's worth more. Zow Knight. Hey, Kris, can you please say, hey, you, get off my lawn. Hey, you, get off my lawn. Okay, wait, here's one more. Hey, you, get off my lawn. Jabba's left nut. My lovely sweetie dog would never say boo to a goose. Would never say boo to a goose? Is that an expression? Is that an expression? Would never say boo to a goose. Moved from a flat to a house end of last year. He's turned into a vicious killer. He hears the postie walking down the road and waits for him. Jeez. Dark Commission. I read somewhere once that tethered dogs are aggressive because they feel trapped. Yeah. When out walking on open land or trails, it's better to let dogs socialize freely than just sniff and move on. Well, dogs, I mean, if you can't take your dogs for a walk, you can't socialize your dog, get it used to other dogs in the neighborhood, that kind of stuff. If you can't do that, you should not have a dog. You shouldn't have a dog. Simple as that. Shouldn't have them. You can't take the time to spend time with the dog and treat the dog right. Shouldn't have the dog. Aaron Seach. Oh, trust me, he got a little tap. Sure. Hey, you got to defend yourself, right? Ram V. Hey, you monkeys. Hey, Munleys. Hey, you Munleys. Hey, Munleys. Jobs left not the other day. We came home and there was a finger from a glove from a delivery driver on the floor. What the F? What? The other day we came home and there was a finger from a glove from a delivery driver on the floor. Oh, because of your dog. Gotcha. Well, that's not good, man. Because you're gonna get that little guy in trouble. Then you're gonna get him put down, and that ain't right. You don't want to put him down. it's the humane thing to do at times, but you don't want to do it. I put my previous dog, because she was old and she had gotten hit by a car, and she had hip dysplasia, and she was having the hardest time going upstairs, and she fell, and she was just like howling, and I was, oh my god, it's like, we can't, she can't do this, she can't keep doing this. We tried blocking it off, and it just and she was just miserable. She was really, really old, and so we were like, that there's no point in letting her suffer. She's suffering, for God's sakes. And so, put her down. Humane thing to do, man. Just like when we go hunting. You shoot the animal, and sometimes they're still alive. They're sitting there gasping for breath. You finish them. Because, you don't want them to suffer. Nathaniel Kris, yeah, I don't fault the dog either. He acted on his instincts. I hope he only gets muzzled. That's punishment enough for the pup. Sure. Definitely. Like, for the owners, there should be a cost there. Because, those assholes should have known better. Muzzled, and make the owners pay for obedience training and things like that. And get the dog corrected. And make those owners pay for that, of course. Because that ain't right. Because it affects your livelihood. Getting bit like that. Rezio, I don't have pets. I have kids. I've had both. I've had pets and kids. I actually had a pet before I had kids. So, because I had my dog, the one I put down, I had her before I had kids. So, yeah. Anyway, she was a good dog. She's a real good dog. Just a damn good dog. Good watchdog. Trusted her instincts, Somebody walked by. Even I would be kind of, who the hell was that, And her hairs would stand up and she'd growl, and they never came around. They never came around twice, I should say. Shady people. Never saw them twice, which is good. And she was big. She was big, smoky gray, yellow eyes. She was part wolf, and she was a really good dog. Voice of the Emperor. Okay, I'm out. I hear beer calling me. TTFN. Later, dude. Nathaniel, Dark Commission. Oh, at Dark Commission. Sophie, well, anybody who mistreats an animal should be hung, drawn, and quartered. Oof. It's pretty harsh, but I'm with you. It's kind of harsh, though. It's harsh. It's harsh. But, you know what? Sometimes, correct people's behaviors, sometimes it needs a harsh punishment. Rayo, thanks, Kris. I never get flesh quite right. I'm getting nervous to start with these guys. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. And if you're relatively new to painting, and you're feeling that way, don't be nervous. Just make sure that you clean the models off properly, right? Prime them. Don't over prime the models, and just lay a base coat down. Lay a nice smooth base coat. Don't worry about highlightings. Don't worry about shadings, Just lay a nice smooth base coat over the entire model. Paint the flesh, paint the armor, paint, all the details, the horns and the trim, and and paint all those things just into a solid color, but do it as neatly as possible. Do the entire unit. You'll find that from your first model to the last model, you'll find that somewhere along the way, it got easy and you got very comfortable with it. And that's good. That's what you want. And you can do another batch, and then do another batch, and you keep going. Don't worry about the highlightings and shadings right now. Don't worry about that. Do it if you want. Go right ahead. But I wouldn't worry about it, especially if you're still feeling kind of anxious about painting, and you're kind of nervous about, you don't want to mess it up. And embrace it. You are going to mess something up, but embrace that and learn from it. Learn from what you did. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Be happy in your mistakes. That goes for everybody. Embrace it and learn from it, because that's the only way you're going to get better. It's the only way you're going to get better. Sitting there and being paralyzed by your own thoughts about, oh, I don't want to do this. I want it to look like this. Don't worry about those things. You're overthinking. Stop overthinking. Just dive in. Go for it. It's the only way you're going to know. It's the only way you're going to know. Raziel, don't get me wrong. I used to have pets, quite a few in my life. But now with kids, I have enough to deal with. I agree. I agree. Yeah, sometimes it is much. I only had 2 kids. They were well behaved, and my dog had my dog. She was well behaved. So, yeah, everybody's been pretty well behaved. Not that old Kris keeps a tight household or anything like that, but I do crack the belt once in a while. I make the joke, but I never do. Anyway, Aaron Seach, I like dogs better than most people, especially in this day and age. Yeah, it reminds me of the bumper sticker I seen one time. It's the more people I meet, the more I like my dog. Red Dragon Model Works. I had a Rottweiler like that, Kris. If she gave someone the stink eye, I took notice. She never failed me in that. Yeah. And you know what? And that's why dogs are man's best friend. Once they get to know you, and they're like, hey, this person, I'm not getting good vibes. And you look at them and you go, you know what? I'm not getting good vibes either. You're right. We're both in agreement about that person over there. We just don't like something about them. We just don't like. Keep walking, buddy. Just keep walking. Go away. And it was women and men. And the person could be just a little off looking. Something about them. Serial killer. Just hey, keep going. Just keep walking, buddy. Aaron Seach. No mistakes, just happy accidents. Well, I don't know about happy accidents. Because I know when I make an accident, I don't go, oh, right on. Yeah, I did it again. Awesome. I don't do that. I'm like, son of a bitch. Oh my God, I did it again. Oh, stupid. I'm never happy about it. I'm never happy about it. It's like, yeah, I did it again. I got paint all over this area. Completely obscured all those highlights I did and everything like that. Awesome. Oh, I completely scratched the paint off. Yeah, right on. Never ever am I like that. Never, ever. Nathaniel, studies have shown, studies now. We're busting out studies now. Studies have shown that dogs can sniff out the character of a person. I trust my dog more in these matters than I trust other people. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And very rarely have I ever encountered a dog that, once I was kind of in its presence for a moment and, let them get a good sense of me, did they continue to bark or, anything like that, So, it's just all about how you approach them, too, Of course, too, I can, I've found a couple times that I can actually, I don't know what it is, but, I've walked a few paths, and there's some dogs, and they're in the backyards and everything like that, and they're just kind of, they run to the fence and there's rah, 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 right? And so one time I stopped when I encountered a dog like that, and I stopped and I looked at him, and then I immediately kind of just like raised my internal temperature, and I became very aggressive, and I was thinking that, you know what I mean, like, knock it off, and the dog did stop, and I thought that was kind of funny. And I've done that a few times where I've just kind of stopped, and then I've just kind of like built up this inner tension to myself, like I'm going to jump on the dog kind of thing, right? Basically send very aggressive feelings towards them, essentially is what it is. And I've found that actually kind of works. And basically, basically like intimidating the dog. Yeah. I've actually intimidated dogs. Demon Wraith 808 Sub Kris, how do you achieve OSL PSU the thumb up? I'm the thumb up. The thumb up the bum. How do you achieve OSL? Well, OSL, object source lighting, for everybody out there who's kind of curious about this themselves. How do you achieve it? Well, I'm not exactly sure in what way you mean, because object source lighting, okay? You're imagining, let's say, for example, okay, let's imagine we have a miniature and he's holding a torch, right? This is one of the easiest examples of OSL. He's holding the torch and that flame, right? We're imagining the model is in a dark tunnel. Okay, so we're imagining that the model himself is in shadow. He's in darkness. That torch is the source of light. So knowing that light travels in a straight path, you can surmise where light would hit. Now it does take some forethought and some planning and some research and how light would look, right? And that's essentially it. Now, again, I mean, I'm not sure exactly in what way do you achieve OSL. I mean, it's not like there is a a set of guides that says step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this, step 4 is this, right? There's nothing like that, because OSL, object source lighting, is entirely situational upon what you're working on and what end goal you're after. Okay, so for example, with the previous example of the models in darkness, he's got a torch and he would be illuminated by a torch, and so that's how you would paint. So you often would paint brighter things that are closer to that source of light as brighter, and things further away would be a deeper color or a faded color, right? So then where it gets kind of tricky is, for example, like in sci-fi models, where like a space marine, right? And his eyes are glowing. Well, that's object source lighting, right? The lenses are the object, and that is the source of lighting coming out of him. That's all it is. That's object source lighting. That's all it means, is that somewhere on the model, or not even on the model, is the source of light. That is, and you're creating that how color and light play on that surface, right? So, for example, here's another example of object source lighting. The base of the model is lava, and you have the model standing there, and you want to have that glow from the lava coming up the model. Well, you're better off referencing how lava looks on those kind of situations. And then you would start off by, starting off with a deeper red, slight glaze build up, and slight oranges, and maybe just a tinge of yellows, depending upon what the surface is also, because you also have to consider that, because a matte surface will reflect light differently than a gloss surface in that situation. So it's no small thing to try and achieve it. And that's why I often see it in a lot of masterful pieces done, where they have this source lighting going on. But, it's a very complicated thing. Is it easily achieved? Sure. There are shortcuts to it. An airbrush is one shortcut, and that's why you see so much OSL on models these days, because so many people have airbrushes now that, doing like the headlights with airbrushes, swords glowing, right? It's easy to achieve with an airbrush, as long as you can pay some attention and some forethought, as to, how you're going to go about creating the effect. But that's OSL. How do you, as far as the broad question, how do you achieve OSL? That's pretty broad. Let's go specifics here. Let's talk specifics. What exactly, are you wanting to know as far as OSL's concerned? Or were you just concerned about what OSL is? If that was what it is, then hopefully I kind of explained that. Dr. Santos, I have a shirt that has the text, "The more I know people, the more I like cats." 100% true. I'm not much of a cat guy. I had cats at one point, but I'm not much of a cat guy. Raziel, my favorite pets are fish. A nice fish tank mesmerizes me for hours. Yeah, I can see that. We had beta fish at one point. My kids went fish phase. So I had fish all the time in the house. And the little beta fish were fun. Because I liked putting the mirror next to them. And they puff right out. That was really cool. Anyway. Demon Wraith. I started watching Bob Ross. It's good for going to sleep. LOL. Well, not going to sleep. I mean, you know, Bob Ross is talking some stuff there. I mean, he's teaching. I mean, if you listen to Bob Ross and the stuff he's teaching in his videos, that is applicable. I need more coffee. It is applicable to what we do as model painters. Like a very old Bob Ross one was, you know, and it's a very common one in oil painting, was like loaded brush. Using a loaded brush. Having two different colors on the brush and moving the brush at the same time. Yeah. Bob Ross shows that in many videos. Yeah. And that was like, what, 20 years ago? Beer and Blood Bowl. Anyway, enough of dogs. I spent a week stripping 150 points of Tau because I wasn't happy with the standard of paint scheme I was going with. It was a little outside my ability. Interesting. You might have to elaborate on that for me there, Carl, because I kind of would like to know exactly what was happening there. Like why weren't you happy with where you were going with it? What was, you should have sent me an email, man. You should have sent me an email. I'm here for you, buddy. Should have sent me an email. Say, Kris, I'm not happy with where this is going. Is there any way I can change course, or should I strip all the models? Never know. I might have been able to talk you off that ledge. Dark Commission. That trick with the dog at Kris. Don't try it on a speeding truck. No. It only works with dogs for some reason. Because I've never tried it versus a skunk. Never tried it versus a raccoon. Never tried it versus a bear. So, yeah, it's only... and, again, it's not against every dog. Even some dogs, like when people are walking their dogs, and I'll do that just to see, and sometimes they'll look at me, and then they kind of just wander away, But they weren't being aggressive to me, and so I'm wondering if it's only something that comes up from, dogs that are being aggressive like that. So I don't know. I mean, or it's completely in my head. That's entirely possible too. Dr. Xantos, I have a fear of big dogs. Was working at a hotel once where the owner's friend had two big dogs allowed to walk around the hotel, and they barked at me because of my beard. Your beard? They barked at you because of your beard? Interesting. Sync Up Sound. Any tips on non-metallic metal silver? Again, this is really broad. Any tips? What do you want to know? Specifics, people. Specifics. Come on. Specific. Let's be specific. If you ask me a question, be specific. Asking a broad question as far as tips on non-metallic silver. Like, what is troubling you as far as the technique is concerned? Like what aspect of it is troubling you? Because I can sit here and talk about non-metallic silver, not creating non-metallic metal effects, but I have no idea where you are as far as your painting and your ability to achieve the desired effect. And with non-metallic metals, you can achieve them at a fairly early stage of your painting as far as knowing how to achieve colors and mixtures. It can get very nuanced as far as, like blends and things of that nature. But otherwise, I need specifics, dude. I need specifics. It's too broad. That is too broad. Fire Drake 18. Hey, made it. Hello, everyone. Hello, Fire Drake. Mad Hoser. Bah! LED up that stuff. NM the pain. Yeah, LEDs for light sourcing. Yeah, exactly. Paint, not pain. Oh, yeah. That's another easy way to create object source lighting on a miniature. Just put a light in that place. You know what I mean? I've seen Primaris Space Marines with the eyes drilled out and had LEDs in them. You know, you want the part to actually glow? Put an actual light in it. You know? Yeah. Demon Wraith, thank you, Kris, for the OSL advice. Again, I'm not sure if that was entirely helpful, other than maybe if you weren't too sure exactly what OSL pertained to. Okay, but then I'm glad that you saw some helpful advice in that. Again, though, I mean, if there was something specific in there that you had, you know, that was troubling you, yeah. Because if you're more specific, then I can specifically answer it, you know. I know what we're talking about. Because otherwise I can just fire off in every direction. I mean, I'd have no idea if it's helpful. Aaron Seach, hey, speaking of emails, hey, holy crap, hey, the time's 1, 2, 3. I love when that happens. It's 1, 2, 3. Well, for me anyway. 1, 2, 3 for me anyway. That didn't rhyme. I just thought it was clever for a second. I said, no, that didn't work. Idiot. Clayton Tate. I worked downtown years ago, and there were 2 crows near our building that would watch office workers from another building at lunch. And they would attack the bald dudes. I don't know what to say about that either. I don't know. Crows aren't dumb though. Crows aren't dumb. They're long lived too. Crows can live a long time. From what I understand, they can live as long as 100 years. That's pretty damn long. Beer and Blood Bowl. Email. Yes, I think it is time for an email. And I think Beer and Blood Bowl is absolutely correct, Carl. You're Carl. When you're Carl, you're always Carl. Carl. Does anybody do that to you? Carl. Dark Commission. I get a sudden urge to look behind me, and when I do, my cat's eyes are boring into my soul. Sync up sound. Specifically, all of the non-metallic metal. Something I'd like to start. Okay. Like all of it? Like, I don't have time. I mean, I do have a few videos in Mini Wargaming's Vault on doing non-metallic metal. If you're a Vault member, just type in NMM. And even SENMM, which is Sky Earth non-metallic metal. I do have a few videos on that. They're quick guides to get you started. Yeah, because I mean, like, for the most part, I think it's more something better shown than described. Unless, of course, you just listen to me and then, you know, whatever, and then it processes. I don't know what your workflow is like, but I know for me personally, I'm a visual thinker, and, you know, I can watch somebody do something and I'll replicate it, you know. But I know some people out there can hear it or, you know, see, or you can write it down for them and they can read it and then they can do it, you know. Yeah. Abstract thinkers, right? So anyway, yeah, those are a few of the things I have in Mini Wargaming Vault. If you're a Vault member, if you're not a Vault member, you can try it for free for 7 days. Get the silver membership so that you can see the painting videos, and then just type it in. You have full access for 7 days, and you know, and I'm sure you'll probably stay a Vault member because the Vault kicks ass. It's what keeps us in business, and it's a huge amount of information. I mean, I don't know why, you know, why you wouldn't want to have the wealth of painting information that's there. Largest amount of painting videos on so many varying topics. The Quick Tips series is over 1,000 videos that I did on very specific things. Like, I mean, like, you know, answering very broad kind of things, like, you know, I can answer them, but ask me something specific and I'll give you a very specific answer. And I'll even try to give you multiple variations of that, you know, which is what I've been doing for many years. I've been doing this 8 years. 8 years I've been doing painting help. Painting help for 8 years. Whew, man. I've been doing this show. I didn't realize I was doing this show since 2013. I've been doing this. Way the brush. Pretty crazy. Anyway. J Kookie 88. Hey Kris, do you have any opinions on Vallejo brushes? Just bought a few because I'm tired of my GW ones fraying out and not keeping a point. Okay. Vallejo brushes, I do enjoy them. I like their synthetics and I like their sables. Vallejo brushes are really good. Army painter brushes, they're good. Artist Opus brushes are really great. But if you are having trouble keeping your brushes to a point with your Citadel brushes, that tells me that you're not taking care of your brushes. And what does Kris always say? That's right. So, I have quite a few videos on brush care. And you should be taking care of your brushes. Because otherwise you're just going to keep spending money on brushes. Brushes can be quite expensive. And if you don't know how to take care of them and you buy expensive brushes, you're going to be like, well, I just spent $100 on these brushes and now they're trash. The hairs are going everywhere. What do I do? Well, you got to take care of the brush. You have to take care of the brush. You have to take care of your equipment. Same with airbrushes. You have to take care of them. You have to maintain them. And paintbrushes are the exact same way. Do I have my... Well, here. This is an older... Here, let me switch cameras here. Sorry here. I'm going to switch this up here real quick. Okay. Things wonky at me here. This is an older heavy metal brush. Okay. Let's adjust the focus about that far. This is an older heavy metal brush. Kind of see the writing, right? Heavy metal. This handle is brown. Okay. I do eyeballs with this brush. It's got a nice long bristle. I can kind of see how long my finger is in comparison, just to get an idea. Okay. This is a Citadel brush. It's one of my favorite brushes. It's really good. I enjoy it. Works really well for me. Does the job. And guess what? I take care of it. So, you need to take care of your brushes. You need to. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting money all the time. And you're going to be like, well, these brushes don't work. These brushes don't work. I've tried these brushes. They don't work. Every time I hear that, it's somebody who's not taking care of their brushes. Not clean. They don't know how to clean them, and they don't know how to condition them, and they don't know how to, prepare them between paint sessions. So, yeah. So please take care of your brushes. Aaron Seach, that is because your cat is planning to murder. You're planning your murder. Sync Up Sound vid guides will get me started. Thanks for the heads up. I'll check them out. Yeah, so go to miniwargaming.com. Go to our vault. If you're not a vault member, you can try it for free for 7 days. But get the silver membership. That's where wealth of my videos are sitting. There's still a lot more I could produce. And they may yet be committed to video. But, yeah. Matt Hoser, Kris, you going to do a show from the new office site once all set up? Am I going to do the show? This show? No. But I'll be doing Painting Auxilium from my new office. Yes, that's what I'll be doing. Yeah. Right? Dr. Xantos, I've watched this show pretty much from the start. Remember being in my old apartment and having to take a sauna break in the middle. A sauna break? You gotta take a sauna break? What's that? What's a sauna break? You go jump in the sauna for a bit and then jump out and jump in the snow or something? Is that what you do? Because that sounds like fun. Matt Hoser, take care of your anus and it takes care of poo. Insightful, Matt Hoser. Insightful. Fire Drake 18, take care of your brushes and they will take care of you. A great man said that. I don't know about a great man. I don't even know if he was barely a man. Aaron, CJ, Kris, what is the best way to restore them back to having a point? I use Master's brush soap, but I still have a couple brushes that won't go back to a fine point. Okay, well, sometimes some of the bristles, they do come to a point where all of a sudden, because like basically it's a varying length, right, which draws them to a nice point. But sometimes over time, those ends of the bristles, they all kind of taper down to like the same length. And so it becomes kind of like a wedge, like a chisel. And that's about the point where, yeah, you're probably going to need a new brush. Now, if that is not the case, and the brush just isn't coming to a nice point. Let's say, for example, do I have one example here? Not really. Let's say, for example, the ends of the bristles, because sometimes I see this happen as well. Sometimes the ends of the bristles curl, you know. And I see it a lot on synthetics, and I'll see it on sables, older ones, and I'll see the end, just the tip. No matter what you do, you can't seem to draw those bristles back to a nice point. They always seem to want to like just curl at the ends, and there is a way to correct that. Basically, with synthetics and where this works on sables is start a little pot, bring it to a boil of water, right? Just water. Bring it to a boil, and then just put those bristles right in. Not the whole brush. Not even really well into the furl. Just the bristles. Just put the bristles in. Hold it there for a couple seconds. And then just massage the bristles. And yeah. Just give it a shot. It's a good way of correcting the bristles sometimes. Matt Hoser, dang, then I can't come for a visit for the show. Two big guys in a little room is all kinds of wrong. Well, you can come to my house and do Way the Brush. I mean, I even have enough space on the other side of my work table here, and I've got another chair. You could sit there, and this microphone, I can set it up so that it's both ways. I could say we could do it from here. If you really want to come for a visit, please come for a visit. I'll put you on. We'll sit here and have a conversation. It'll be like a regular old talk show. Anyway. Dark Commission. Try soaking in boiling water for a few seconds to reform the tip. Sometimes works. Yeah. Ghost Starman Deluxe. Late. I was spending time with the fam. Hey, that's what you got to do, man. Got to keep that family happy, because when they're happy, you're happy. And who doesn't enjoy being happy? Who sits there and goes, geez, I feel happy. This sucks. That doesn't make any sense. Dr. Santos, I had a sauna reservation from 20 to 21 on Saturday back in the day. That sauna and snow thing you said actually is a fairly popular thing in Finland. Also, swimming in winter is one too. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. It's something that happens in northern Canada. We do like the polar bear swim. It's not like a full-on swim. It's more like just kind of quick dip, jump in the hot tub, and then jump into the freezing frigid. And it takes place out on the ice, right? So they cut the ice, and then they jump in. And I've never done it myself because honestly, I like my testicles. I like them where they are, and so yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe if I was in Finland, maybe if I came to Finland, I have a very when in Rome kind of approach to things, and so if I was in Finland, I probably would have to partake, and I would happily do it because, like I said, when in Rome, do as the Romans, right? So, yeah. Dark Commission. I seem to remember seeing Native Americans emerging from a sweat lodge and jumping into the snowbanks or lakes. Yeah, oh yeah. There's tons of cultures all over this planet. Any culture that has snow and heat and fire and know how to make a tent, yeah, I'm sure have done that many times. And it does have a cleansing property. I can't remember what the hell it is about bringing the body up to the high temperature and then jumping in, and it's that invigorating kind of shock, but you know, it's good, you know. Now doing the sweat lodge thing, the sweat lodge is one particular thing, and jumping into snowbanks and stuff like that afterwards, because to do the sweat lodge, that happens year round, and that happens as necessary. And you know, in the winter, sure, jump out, but it's not like, it wasn't a game. It wasn't done as a recreational thing. The sweat lodge has a very different spiritual purpose for us. It's the properties of it are similar to the sauna, and its outwards appearance is similar to like the sauna experience, but it's a completely different thing. It's a much more spiritual thing going on there. I'm sure a lot of people, you know, think that like everything Native Americans do is always spiritual, but a lot of times, yeah, it is. Anyway, J Kookie 88, a Kris podcast. Yeah, I know people would talk about the podcasting, and I've looked into it, and like I've even converted up some Way of the Brushes to just audio format for podcast. But finding a good host, like, it's bloody expensive. And I mean, like, you know, if everybody was, you know, pestering me about it, then I probably would. But because it's so infrequent, like, you know, it's not something I've pushed for to do. So, but because hosting is kind of pricey, it's not cheap. Nathaniel, episode 247. I like my testicles where they are. I do. I like them where they are. And I don't want them to disappear on me. Mind you, though, I've been married 20 some years, so some would say my testicles are in my wife's purse, so they probably wouldn't be wrong. Dark Commission, Roman baths too were the same principle. Yeah, exactly. It's a thing that repeats in many cultures across this planet. You know, realistically, you know, there are more things that connect cultures and people across this planet. There are more things that connect us than that separate us and become differences that aren't deeply connecting us. What separates us is surface stuff. It's trivial. It's inconsequential, and it's really ridiculous what people think matter. It's crazy. Dark Commission, Roman baths too were the same principle. Yeah. Red Dragon Model Works. That's what I do here in Chicago when we exist the sweat lodge in the winter. I roll in the snow. It is awesome. Yeah. Dr. Santos, I don't do the swimming thing, but I do know there's a club association that near me. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I know. Jumping in the ice, the frozen water. I mean, like, just doing that. Jumping in the hot tub and then jumping in the freezing water. A lot of fun. Invigorating, right? Like I said, I've not done it myself, but I can see how that is very invigorating, because I've swam in the Lake Superior many times. Lake Superior is like the coldest body of water on this planet next to the Atlantic Ocean. And it is freaking cold. So, I know. Fire Drake 18. I upvoted the channel title. Red Dragon Model Works. Yes, the sweat lodge is a purifying spiritual thing for us, as is the sun dance. Yes, exactly. You know, exactly. There are there are a great many things that are spiritual, but really, when you think about it, I mean, everything is spiritual, right? Our connection to everything on this planet. You know, the rocks, the trees, space. We're all connected to it. It's the wisdom that we've had for millennia. Anyway, it only seems to be now people are understanding. You know, you hear astrophysicists talk about how basically, you know, Carl Sagan, right? How we're basically star stuff, right? Well, that means that it's a deep spiritual connection to everything. That's something we've known, again, probably as far as back as memory goes. Anyway. Dark Commission episode 247. Sometimes it's a spiritual, sometimes it's just blackhead removal. Sometimes it's just clearing the old pores, right? That's good. I like that. Sometimes it's spiritual. Yeah, sometimes it's just blackhead removal. That's exactly it. And sometimes that's it. That's exactly it. You nailed it right on the head, man. Yeah, sometimes that's just it. It's as simple as that sometimes. It's just clearing the pores, man. Clayton Tate. Kris, I hang off buildings in a harness at work, and I can tell you that the boys are adaptable and strong. They have to be. Yeah, I don't know if I could dangle off buildings with the boys dangling. Or completely crushed. I don't know if I could handle that. Aaron Seach. Roman baths. Hell, I thought chicks liked the Roman helmet. Anyway. Daniel L. Kris, when you paint MDF terrain, do you paint directly on the wood or make a layer of matte varnish over it before you go with acrylic paints? You should prime it. Use a primer. Especially with MDF. Yeah. Now, if you don't prime it, most MDF doesn't really absorb paint unless it's like really watery. If you water your paint down a lot and you don't prime, that the wood could actually just suck the paint in, right? Versus if you're staying with a bit thicker paint, then it actually would sit on top of the surface and it kind of clogs the pores. And so that's kind of what the primer is going to do for you. But I wouldn't lay a heavy prime down. I'd lay a nice light prime. You could lay a matte varnish on the surface if you want to have like no color as the base, or you want to use the natural coloring of the wood as part of your effect that you want to go for on the model or on the surface of the terrain. But yes, you definitely should prime it. Definitely should prime it. And even if it has like fine etchings in it, laying a prime down should not obscure those details. Yeah. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, definitely prime it. You can paint it right onto the wood though. You can do it. But just be mindful that if you really thin your paint down a lot and you like kind of using it like shade washes or glazes and you just want to apply it like that, the wood will absorb it. Whereas if the primer layer, not so bad, not so much of that effect. But if you lay too much primer down, it'll do the same damn thing. It all depends on what effect you're going for and how fast you want to get it done, right? Because maybe you just simply want to age up the wood and create like a wood grain, or you know what I mean, and you want to use those natural hues from the MDF, which is perfectly acceptable. I mean, it's all about the end result, right? How it looks. And so, yeah. Send pictures of what you're doing, and let me know. Beer and Blood Bowl, Way of the Brush, episode 247. Do you like dags? In an Irish accent like Brad Pitt in Snatch. Dags. Like dags. One of my favorite lines is in Snatch is when Brad Pitt's on the couch, he's all hungover, and he gets up real fast and, you need to have a shake. I never knew what he said at that point in that movie until I watched the movie with subtitles. Did I understand what he said? Hey, have a shake. Where am I? Aaron Seach. With MDF, I coat in a thin layer, a thin down Mod Podge, let it dry, and then prime and paint. That MDF will drink up that paint if you don't treat it. Where is Joe when we need him? Sophie, wow. Emails, Kris. Only 15 minutes left. Holy crap. 14 minutes left upon reading this. You're absolutely right, Sophie. Let's do an email. Let's just start it off the proper way. Headphones, turn them up or down, but here it comes. Email time. It's email time. It's done. Thing's done. Anyway, this one here is from our good buddy, Totem Lord. Greetings, Kris. Wall of text time. It has been a while, so I've got a few things to talk about. Firstly, progress has been halted on my diorama, unfortunately, as my creativeness failed me. So instead, to boost myself, I started to work on 2 out of 3 orc HQs that I have wanted to convert. The one I haven't started is Gorbad Ironclaw, turned into our boss on bike. However, I have fully pieced together a big mech with custom Mega Blaster. His name is Skibbits. Anyway, and he's a cutie pie. Also, the second one comes with some bad news. My long-loved favorite model and war boss, Ed Stampa, was found by a monstrous beast that lurks in my house. Andy, although the damage was not extensive and much of it fixable, there are deep tooth marks in some areas. Ed Stampa will have to be sidelined as I am too lazy to fix it. For now, anyway. He will return. Anyway, so I am creating a new war boss from an ogre model using Killacan and other various bits. Hopefully, he turns out well. In some unrelated, not painting news, I'm proud to mention 2 achievements. Firstly, my rugby team has made it to the county final this year, so it will be the first time I get to play in a proper stadium. You probably won't have heard of Welford Road. Nope. But awesome, congratulations. And I also recently appeared in a play at my local theater and was awarded the Best Youth Actor Award for the competition. Wow. Anyway, that's enough of my pointless gibberish and onto the photos. I added one of me playing rugby because I was bored and it makes me look like I'm actually good at the sport. Totemo Lordino. Totemo Lordino. Well, that's great. Congratulations on the winning of the best actor, best youth. And yeah, so let's jump right into the Pikachus. And so here is one of his little conversions. Holy Carmoli, he's got a great big blaster right on his hand. He's got some crazy doodads. He almost looks like an orc Borg. Like if orcs had Borg. Some of you are going, what the hell's a Borg, Kris? Freaking nerd. Anyway. Really cool. Paint job looks decent. Paint's where it should be. Pretty straightforward. Conversion's pretty cool. Gets the point across. All those old hunter-killer missiles. Do those still come in the kits? I don't know if those still come in the kits. I think they do. Oh, wow, look at this. This is his war boss. Doing from an ogre. Looking pretty darn cool, dude. I think some orky glyphs and armor platey kind of things to more orkify him. Orkify? The claw looks really, really cool, though. I like the claw bit. Nice. Finger. Holding down a bit, I guess. I don't know. Is this an action shot? Or is that what this is? This is an action shot. And so I think this is the old war boss that apparently has tooth marks in it. I guess a doggy or a cat must have got a hold of it somehow. Doesn't look bad to me. Doesn't look like irreparable damage. At least I'm not seeing it. I mean, like, even with orcs, when things kind of get messed up, it just adds to the flavor of orcs. You know, so don't get discouraged. You know. Oh, geez, Luis. Yeah, you might have to rebase him. You might need to rebase that. Maybe. Just saying. So here's Totem Lord with his trophy. Doing a, I don't know, mouth thing. I don't know what he's doing with his mouth. Maybe it's an actor thing. Maybe he's emoting. Oh, here he is. Look at that. Damn, he looks like he knows what he's doing. Here we go. Let's get a better picture. There we go. He's grabbing your junk, dude. He's like, hey, piss off. Quit trying to grab my shit. The way the hand's positioned, it looks like he's trying to like massage your thigh. And you're like, hey, buddy, back off. Not that kind of guy. Or maybe I am. But hey, it's kind of forward. I barely know you. Either way, it is a good action. It is a good action shot. And look at the cleats on everybody. Everybody's just freaking caked in mud. It's awesome. Awesome, Totem Lord. Thank you for sending that in. Really good stuff. And yeah, I look forward to the next update. And feel free to post more action shots. But he's just like hanging right up. That's the way the picture looks like. Hey, grabbing my junk. Hands off, buddy. Dimitri Abaddon, just the tip. Ghost Starman Deluxe, he's a cyborg. Yeah, cyborg. Right, cyborg. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. People's Front of Canada. Just got this in my feed, and I gotta say, that is an epic stash, man. I love it. Gonna check your vids, too, as I'm restarting this great hobby. Well, that's awesome. That is awesome. That is really good. I'm glad. Hobbies are important. I mean, it's a luxury thing. So for those who can afford it, a hobby, not just this hobby, but a hobby. But even though, I mean, like, just taking time, because I mean, a lot of us have busy lives, and it's important to take time out of the busy life just once in a while, just for an hour or two, and just, focus on some personal time and just, take care of something you love, that you're passionate about. And that's good. I'm glad. Jabba's left nut. Touch it one more time and you'll get 2 thin coats. Kevin Cabal. Congratulations, Totem Lord. Rugby and theater are both awesome ways to spend time when you aren't painting. Yeah, that is excellent. Really, it is. That's really interesting. It's really quite diverse when you think about it, right? Because doing an active sport and doing theater, which is expression, right? Rugby or just a sport is a lot of physical activity, depending on what it is, right? Rugby, I imagine, is pretty rough. It's not the point of the exercise, but it's good. And it's also team building, right? So, and theater team building. But it also is, it's team building and it's also independent as well, right? So, it's interesting. It's an interesting mix of things. Ghost of Starman Deluxe, when he reaches for the brush without getting the masters. Dimitri Abaddon got Series 7 brushes as a souvenir a couple days back. A bit scared to use them straight away. Want to get brush soap first. Is that essential? I'm going to have to say yes. Yes, you should have brush soap. I use Masters brush soap all the time, but there are various brands of brush soap out there. You can head to most art supply places and they'll have it. Take care of your brushes. Just take care of them, I do have many videos on it. There are many videos out there on it. So, the information is out there. But yeah. And especially when, you're using something with a finer hair, you want to take care of them. Because you want to use, because typically they are very expensive. Yeah. Dimitri Abaddon. Also, number 2 is a bit bigger than I anticipated. Yeah, number 2 is pretty big. Number 1 is good size. 0, I use a lot. I've never used my 00, and I've barely used my 000. Yeah, I'm trying to find 000 to finish off my collection. Try not to think of it as a collection, more so as an assortment of your tools, if that is a difference. Mainly because if it's a collection, then you're just merely trying to acquire it, rather than it elevating your ability and becoming a tool that's going to be able to enable you to get the jobs done. Right? So do you need that tool versus do you want it? Right? You're just collecting it just for completeness sake. When I initially acquired my Winsor Newtons, it was more of not so much the hype, but at the time I was like, okay, well, let me see what the real difference here is between Klonsky sables versus Citadel brushes that I was using all the time. And there is a difference. It's very nuanced, but there is a difference. And if you're not at that phase yet in your painting, then the process will be lost on you. And then you're just merely collecting them just to have them, so you can tell people, I have Winsor Newtons. In which case, who's that helping? It's not helping you, and it should be helping you. It should help you become a more better, confident, experienced, efficient painter. Clayton Tate, I find airbrush cleaner works well to clean out brushes. Sure. Airbrush cleaner, I mean, some of them they have alcohol in them. That's fine. We got on the topic on Discord. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn my humidifier on. Sorry, it just kicked in. Anyway, so if you hear a little bit of a noise in the background, it's a humidifier. Anyway, hey, we were just talking the other day at Discord about using alcohol to clean the brushes, and you really, they can dry the fibers out. The alcohol can dry the fibers out over time. One wash using it is not going to hurt your brushes, but if you do it all the time and that's part of your regular process, yeah, you can end up drying your bristles out and they'll become very stiff and brittle. Versus using brush soap and conditioning them, just like hair. You condition the hair so it stays nice and soft and supple and flows really nice. That's what you want from sable. That's why we get sable. That's why we fight over these Klonsky sable brushes, is because of the way they flow, the draw. That's why. Anyway. J Kookie 88, is brush soap supposed to look almost a gray hockey puck, or am I using it wrong? No, that's fine. I mean, my brush soap is dirty. I mean, I use here. This is the brush soap I use all the time. Here, hold on. Let me just. Oh, I still have this up. Oops. Shut up. There we go. That's the brush soap I use all of the time. This is my favorite. Let me get a nice little highlight off there. Bang, boom. Let's make it look. We'll use this as a thumbnail. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to use this thumbnail. Anyway, that's what I use. Masters brush soap and preserver. Preserver because you can condition your bristles with this as well. I do have many videos on using this particular product. And of course you can see. Actually, it's pretty good. And I was actually using this just the other day. My daughter was asking me about her makeup brushes for applying her makeup. And she was concerned that the particular... I can't remember what her concern actually was. I should ask her. But I was listening to her, but I wasn't listening to her. She just said, "Can you help me clean my brush?" And I said, "Yeah, Dad's on it. No worries, honey. Daddy's got this. Daddy's got this. I got you covered." And so I showed her how to take care of brushes, so she can use this whenever she wants to clean her brushes. She can use this. But anyway, and it was the same thing. It's the same thing. Brushes are brushes, no matter what company you're talking about, and for the most part, what fibers you're using. Just take care of them. Clean them. Some you don't have to do quite as aggressively, like hog hair bristles, but we're not using hog hairs. Oil painting, we use hog hairs. And some acrylic works, they can use hog hairs, just because it's got a nice firm bristle for just scrubbing the paint. I like scrubbing paint. Anyway. So, yeah, but that's what you want, brush soap. You want brush soap. Now, there are many different brands of brush soap. There's many different variations of brush soap. Some are solid, some are more liquid. Both will do the trick. I'm not a big fan of liquid. I prefer solid. I kind of like the bar, like it's like a bar of soap, right? I go and when I'm taking a shower, I use a bar of soap, and I do it just like that too. I just, you know, work up a good lather, just smacking it across my face. That didn't sound right. Anyway, oh, what time we at? Holy crap, we're 2 minutes after 2. Jeez Louise, we still got a couple emails to go through here. Where am I? Dark Commission. When I oil painted 30 odd years ago, I used to finish off my brushes with ordinary bathroom soap. I still have those brushes. Winsor Newton. Yeah. You can use that too. Sure. Nathaniel, Kris, how do you keep paint from drying too quickly on a small sized tip? Example number 3 or 0 or the 000. I've tried painting eyeballs, but the minute I touched the mini, the paint had dried on the brush tip. Okay, if you're sitting there and you're working the paint, okay, because you should be working with the paint in a slightly thinned out consistency, right? Just maybe with the dampness of the brush, just to thin the color out just a little bit. What I usually do when I'm doing with really thin paint like that is I will thin the paint out a little bit with just the dampness of the brush, just to draw it out. And I'll draw it out, and I'll quickly rinse the brush off, dry off the brush, make sure that there's very little moisture left in the bristles, and then I very quickly just dip the paint in. I'm ready with my model, I'm holding the model, and then very carefully I come in and then just hit it. In the amount of time that it took me to describe that, that's how fast I'm doing it. So if the paint is drying, you're probably lingering, or it is very dry where you are. The environment is very dry, or the temperature and climate is dry. In which case, that can speed up the process as well. But yeah, if you're lingering, if you're struggling to steady yourself, then you might want to practice steadying yourself and being a bit more confident in that regards. And that's the other one, confidence. Being confident and just committing to that brush stroke. Sometimes you just got to go for it. Sometimes. Just do your best. Just don't overthink it. No. Breathe. Remember to breathe. And just touch it. A lot of times, like how I'm showing right there, like I'll touch my palms together. So, for example, I don't have my painting handle, but I'll have the model. I usually have my models on a painting handle, right? I just, bang, right? And then with my brush, right? Put my palms together. And then just like that. And of course, I always got to stare over my glasses because I'm getting old. And then, whatcha? And just paint the eye. So, sometimes, yeah, that's what you got to do. You just got to commit to it. But be very well practiced. And if you feel like you're not quite ready to do details like that, then don't do them. You'll get onto those details when you're ready. There's no rush, It'd be nice, but once you get more confident in laying down your base coats, laying down the highlights, and how you're thinning the paints, and because again, it's all about control. It's all about control. And so, yeah. Dimitri Apperton. Sorry, I've been out of the loops, so didn't know what's the deal with the emails. Okay, wait. Dimitri, are we behind on emails? I'd love to hear your comments on some gobbles and big figure with Witcher 3 I painted a week ago. Maybe I sent it on Discord, or if the queue is done. No, the queue isn't done. But I don't see an email. What? Go to my folder here. I'm not sure which. Yeah. I don't recall getting one. And I'm not even sure what the hell Witcher is. So, yeah. Oh, you know what? Just one more time.
Acheron.
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 Acheron. So, Dimitri, you might have to send it again. Kris at miniwargaming.com. You've sent me emails before. So, yeah. Jabba's off nut. Bet he said that to the wife. Just breathe and touch it. In my youth. Sam Potts. Hello all. How the hell is everyone? Everyone seems to be okay. Everybody's okay. We're going to quickly get to another email because holy crap, we're way over time right now. Not like I'm in a rush to go anywhere, but it is a rainy day. I can hear it just pounding down right now. You might be able to hear it over the mic. I don't know, but either way. Let's do another quick little jingle here, just to keep a smile on everybody's face. Turn it up or down if you're wearing headphones or whatever. But here it comes. Ready? Email time. Email time. Might help actually get the email ready. Oh, email thing's done. Sorry, I don't get the audio cues. This is from our good buddy Roman Matinoff. Hey Kris, been forever since I've actually painted or sent anything, so decided to have some fun with a Leviathan. Tips, welcome, as always. Cheers. And so here is... Oh, look at this. Look at this. Are you looking at this? It's a Night Lord Leviathan. And he's got a little bit... Oh, Fritz, this thing's going to do sideways on me. Son of a beehive. I wanted to zoom in a bit. Okay, well, it's really good. I like it. I think a little bit of edging, just to bring out some of the armor plates and stuff like that, would be really cool. I think also... no, it's fine. I was going to suggest a bit of a blue glaze, just to knock some of the white out of the surface, but I mean, maybe this is the way the photograph looks, but some of the white actually looks pretty hazy around the bolts, and it looks like it's kind of like, it almost looks like overspray, but I'm sure that you fully intended to do that, and it looks fine, but I would probably knock a bit more blue into it, and probably do like a clear blue glaze, like something like Gilliman blue, or if you have Minotaur's ghost tints, their blue or the cyan, whichever blue you want to go for. Thin it down just a bit if it's too intense for you, whatever, beforehand. But yeah, to bring a bit more of that blue back into these guys, because the starker blue makes the red more pronounced. I like it though. It looks really good. It's nice and clean. I like the use of the defiler head on the Leviathan. At least I think that's a defiler head. It looks like a defiler head. Looks really, really cool. Yeah, see what I mean? Like the lightning bolts, it just seems like there's a little too much white. And I think if you laid a clear blue on top to resaturate the blue, and then came in again, and then just did just the tiniest of white in the bolts, just to reestablish some of those bright points, because the blue tint would bring that blue haze, or that the haze around each of the bolts, it would bring it back in towards blue. And then reestablishing the white would give you a much more vibrant looking lightning bolt, rather than, because of the white haze, it almost looks like cobwebs, and it kills the saturation of the blue. And Night Lords has a really nice saturated blue, and resaturating the blue will make that red stand out more, make that bone, because that bone has that yellowy brown hues to it, and that'll play nicely with the blue as well. And of course the green, that bright green like that has yellow in it, which plays nicely with the darker blue, right? So these are all colors that sit really nicely with blue, and I think resaturating the blue would be a good step. And also a little bit of edging. Just a little bit of edging, just the tiniest amounts. But I resaturate that blue first. You can probably do the edging and then resaturate the blue, and then repick that lightning back out. You might have to mask off where your other details are, just so you don't end up doing an overspray. See, here it doesn't look too pronounced, actually. So I wonder if maybe if it's the camera angle. But it seems like the white of the lightning is really kind of desaturating the blue. And I mean, like, it looks really cool, but I think if you threw a blue glaze on top of this and then came in and touched up the lightning bolts a bit with some white, not the entire length of the bolts, but like the corners and sharp edges and, you know, some more of the trunk type details and, you know, some of that. Because I mean, the lightning does look cool, but the white desaturates the blue just a little too much for my tastes. Maybe you like it this way, then leave it. But yeah. But very, very cool. Thank you, Rumen, for sending this in. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that, because that looks like a lot of fun, and that looks like a fun one. Really quickly here, I'm just looking at the chat. Yeah, nice Leviathan. Yeah, everybody likes it. Dark Commission, good lightning effect, not cartoony. Yeah, no, it was really cool. Sophie, have to go. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Love y'all. Thank you, Sophie. Nathaniel, see you, Sophie. Enjoy your Easters. Your Easters. Your Easters. All right. And really quickly here, just because he sent one in really fast, and we got plenty. We're over time anyway, but let's do it anyway. So this one is from Dark Commission. Hi, Mighty One. Just a quick email with some random stuff. The Western minis were the last minis I painted before switching to busts and forgot about them. All the other pics are of things I found on various hard drives while housekeeping my computer. They date back to when I first started painting around 4 years ago and show that with practice, anyone can improve their work. These were painted before I started painting properly with shades and highlights, etc. So let's have a look. I don't see anything wrong with these. There we go. Yeah. I like these guys. And it's really good. You've got tons of detail on these guys, and they look like they're really small. And you got highlights and shadows, and yeah. What game are these for? Looks like General Lee in the back over there. Got some Apache dude on the far left. Or are these the models you're talking about? Oh, maybe these are the models. Yeah, because I don't see any highlights or anything like that. Oh, right, yeah, because you said these ones were your last ones before you started onto the busts. Right, okay. I was paying attention. I wasn't, but anyway. Now, see, like, these aren't bad. But yeah, I mean, like, this is kind of what I recommend for everybody out there who is pretty new to this hobby. And this is just putting a base coat down. And this is what I highly recommend. But what I like here is that you are working pretty neatly here. I can see, the beard. I can see the flesh. I can see the trim on the helmet. I can see, like, the blue of his shirt or his tunic, and then the yellow of his sleeves and the flesh. You know what I mean? Like, paint looks like it's where it should be. Now, of course, yes, they could be laid down, a little smoother or, a little bit more control. Oh, these are really good too. Again, see, like, even with just a nice smooth base coat, the results are good. And I don't know why people are always in a mad rush to do OSL and do non-metallic metals when they've barely held a brush in their hand and are not used to all this miniature painting. Like, everything comes with time. Don't be in such a rush. Because what ends up happening is that people become very discouraged that the results are not what they expect the first time. And, that's basically setting unrealistic goals. Like, take the advice of experienced painters who are probably telling you to slow down and take your time. Oh, these are cool. I kind of like the colors on this one. The bright kind of coppery gold with the blue. I kind of like that. Well, I'm not saying kinda. I do like it. I like that bright yellowy greeny kind of guns. Like the, what is it? A yellow on top of black, it looks like. It gives you kind of those green hues. Very, very interesting. I like the metal though. It's a very interesting color scheme. Oh, was that it, Dark? Oh, that was it. That was it. Wah, wah. Well, thank you, Dark, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. And yeah, you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad you sent that in because, you know, it shows everybody, like, you know, yeah, he was only 4 years. That was only 4 years ago. That was only 4 years ago, dude. Really? 4 years. Just painting. Yes, Dark Commission has a history of painting. But, you know, that just kind of helps speed it up. And for those of you guys out there with, you know, artistic type backgrounds, great, you know. You will catch some of these concepts a lot earlier. For the rest of people out there that, you know, are, you know, still learning a lot of this and, you know, it's new. They've never done painting before. You know, it can be kind of intimidating, and I understand. But don't be afraid. Don't become overcome with the fear, right? You are going to make mistakes. You are not going to probably be particularly happy with your first paint job. Accept it and learn from it and move on. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody's perfect at this the first time out. How fast some people progress than others is a different story, but you know, it's you know, just don't be afraid to make mistakes. Embrace it. Embrace your mistakes. Embrace them. It's the only way you're going to learn. It's the only way you're going to learn. And the sooner you realize that you are embracing your mistakes, and the sooner you accept it, the faster you'll learn. The faster you'll learn. So, any final words of wisdom from the chat? Soviets kick. Hi all. Hello, Soviet. Aaron Seach, ghost tint over that lightning and the highlight back up would be amazing. Yes, I think so. That's why I suggested it. I think that would be helpful with that Leviathan. But if they're happy with what it is and don't want to do it, by all means, leave it. You know, it's your model. You paint it. If I was in that same boat, that's where I would go. But anyway, it doesn't mean it's any less of a good paint job. Just, yeah, that's where I would go. Dark Commission, the Western ones are from Dead Man's Hand. Okay. Those Assyrians are around 15 to 20 millimeters. Oh, so those guys are really small. So, yeah. Good job then. Yeah, because those guys are tiny. Yeah, they're almost like, what is that? Flames of War? Yeah, Flames of War. Anyway. Dark Commission, I'll post the Western minis on Discord. Yeah, do it, man. Everybody on Discord. We have the finished, completed models. Just show off what you're working on, you know? That's why it's there. Nathaniel, mistakes are fine. Otherwise, you won't make progress. Exactly. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Don't think that making a mistake is bad. It's good. Because that means that it's an opportunity for you to learn. And everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's human. Nobody's perfect. Perfect is a fictional concept. It's a nice idea, but perfection doesn't exist. Perfection does not exist. I don't even think we could even know what perfection was if we saw it. The only thing I could think of is the universe, and even my understanding of the universe is extremely limited. But the nature and the function and how everything works is perfect. That's perfection. Anything we create as human beings will pale by comparison. So, anyway. I think that's it. I think we covered some ground today. I think so. And you know, here's the big one for me. This is really important. I think right here, this
Acheron.
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 Acheron. Of course, we can go back to this one.
Acheron.
Man, that just sounds like somebody who's hard to please.
Acheron.
She's not so bad. She's a little abrupt.
Acheron.
See, that sounds condescending. It's like, you dummy. Like, come on. We tried this way, though.
Acheron.
Okay. I don't even know if you guys can hear me hitting those buttons doing that, but anyway. I gotta turn that off. I gotta turn off the translate. That's just too much fun. That's just too much fun. Dark Mission Buddhists always leave mistakes in their work, as perfection is hubris. Well, it's an unachievable goal. Like, you know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Anyway, G squared. Jeez, you're not gonna let that one go, are you, Kris? Sounds like knock it off. If you are brand new to this hobby and you need some help, you want some help with your color scheme, you want some extra help on, you know, technique or particular brands, you just need information. Send your questions to Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com. That is the central hub of all this silliness. It has links to the Instagrams, the Twitters, and of course the Discord. Discord's been fantastic. It's been a great way to stay in touch with everybody. I have it up all the time, so you know, join us on Discord and post your questions there. Post whatever you're working on. Talk. You know, we've made fairly interesting little community going on there, so you know, feel free to join us. You know, and of course nobody's gonna you know, well, I'm not gonna say nobody's gonna do it, but you know, it's there's a lot of love going on. There's a lot of love in Discord, so come on into Discord. And of course, wayofthebrush.com also has links for t-shirts. You want to help support the cause? You want to look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world? They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, for everybody who's purchased a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And of course, patrons, patron support. Big thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, I would not be able to do a lot of things I've been able to do this recent couple of years now. It's been a couple of years now, almost, eh? I think it's nearing on almost 2 years I've had Patreon, which I was really reluctant about. But anyway, if you're considering patron support, I only ever charge per Way of the Brush. So I only do this every Saturday, once a week, most months. So I think you kind of know what you'll be getting yourself into in that regard. And of course, if you are not able to support monetarily and you want to contribute, liking, commenting, subscribing, ringing the bell, following if you're on Twitch side of things, and of course sharing this video. If you see somebody else on the internet and says, hey, I need help with painting, and here's this guy I'd listen to all the time, he's, you know, pretty helpful at times when he's not talking about crazy crap. You know, so that always helps as well. And all it takes is a click of a button. It's a click of a button, you know. So if you can't even do that, I don't know. Then, you know, then we're all doomed. We're doomed. And of course, a big thank you to Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl, aka Guy Mural, for creating the email jingles that I play before every email segment. It brings a smile to our face, and you know, it's just a lot of fun. And so a big thank you to Carl for taking the time out of his busy schedule to create those. And you know, they're always a lot of fun, and you know, I enjoy them. Of course, they always blow everybody's eardrums out, apparently. And of course, now the Discord's going crazy right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what these guys are doing. The people are in Discord right now are already doing stuff. I don't know. We usually jump into Discord after the show, kind of as a after show thing. So join us on Discord. I usually jump in for the voice chat for a bit. Caution though, language is spoken freely. So, is that it for my usual ending spiel? I think that's it, right? Anything else? I can't remember if there's anything else. Said my thank yous, patron support, like, subscribe, yeah, all that, right? I got nothing else. Take care of your brush. They'll take care. Take care of your brushes, and they'll take care of you. And I will see you guys next week. I'm pretty sure I'll see you next week. Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. All right, so Jabba's Left Nut just asked. Well, not just asked, but he says, Kris, do I need ghost tints in my life? And why? Why do you need ghost tints in your life? Ghost tints is what I'm saying. I just heard it myself and it sounded kind of funny. Anyway, you do need them in your life. They're fantastic. If you have an airbrush, of course. You can use a regular paintbrush with them as well, but it's better with an airbrush. It's just easier to use them, and oftentimes how we end up employing them is often a lot better. But otherwise, yeah, you do need them in your life. I firmly think so. They're really fantastic. There are other brands that do kind of the same thing, but some of the names escape me. I want to say Cretex does some. Tamiya is not like, they have like similar things, but they're often just different. It's not the same. You got thin. The ghost tints just work a lot easier. It's a lot easier using them. So, yeah, get them. You need them. Ghost tints. Get them. If you have an airbrush. If you don't have an airbrush, then you can get away with using like Citadel glazes and stuff like that, but you're not going to get the same saturation. The ghost tints are really great. They have some great saturation in them. But otherwise, yeah. Nathaniel, Kris, I think you forgot to thank your brother for the new intro outro theme. I thanked him a long time ago because, you know, I mean, I'm always thankful for my brother. You know, and his presence online has not been as great, just because he just hasn't been maintaining things. So I haven't really pushed. If he was pushing something, then I'd be pushing it as well. So yeah, like if he was pushing a website or whatever, yeah, I'd tell you, website, go there, check out his stuff, and help support the cause, kind of thing. Because yeah, I mean, I love my brother, and I mean, he was great enough to, and talented enough to create that music for me. So, I'm always thankful to my brother, always, even though sometimes I just want to punch him right in the gut. Because he's my baby brother, so yeah. and he took a lot of ass whoopings from me. Good couple amount. Yeah, I got some good ones in on him. He was just small. I just wail on him. Yeah, I was kind of an asshole, really, when you think about it. Something to think about. Anyway. Job is left nut. Thanks. I do have an airbrush. I'll get some. Excellent. Okay, well, as long as we made one more sale. If you're on the Twitch side of things, I have the links in the little box there. If you go in the description for the video and Twitch. Yeah. Often, the little recommended, it's all the paint sets, the airbrushes, the compressors, the common things people ask me about, brush soap, a lot of it's all in that. It's in that little box on the thing, so feel free to check it out. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. That was it. That was the one last thing here. Oh, Dark Commission Gallery has opened in Mansfield, UK. Went in last Tuesday. Artist in residence. Cool. Are you posting stuff there? I haven't seen any of your work. Have you ever shown me any of the work? I don't know if you have. Nathaniel, Kris, I'm the oldest of 3 brothers. I get where you're coming from. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta kick their ass. And even now that I'm in my 40s, he's in his early 30s, and he's bigger than me too. He works out, and I still want to kick his ass. There's days, especially when he starts talking crazy crap. I just want to smack him. I just, come here, you little son of a. Yeah, I miss him. All right, I'm getting the hell out of here. Let's enjoy the rest of this bleak Saturday, and let's get some hobbying done. Get some painting done, or get some assembly done, or I don't know. Let's go hug a loved one. You know what? I probably should just go kick somebody's ass. I think that's what I need to do. I need to go kick somebody's ass. Maybe I'll go kick one of my kids in the ass or something. I don't know. Sounds awful. Just randomly go up and just dunk. What are you doing? Oh, Dark Commission. No, most canvas stuff is long gone. I want to start again though. I know. I've been feeling it too lately. More and more. My canvases, I have one piece that is part of a collection or series in my brain that I wanted to commit, and I still have the second piece. It's a 5-piece thing that I want to do, and I'm still on the second piece. I haven't finished the second piece, and yeah, I gotta get that done. I know. It's excuses. It's all it is. I'm making excuses, and I tell people all the time, don't make excuses, right? And I'm making excuses, and I just gotta get the freaking thing done. Just get it done. Anyway. I'm out of here, people. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys over on Discord, I think. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Maybe not. Screw it. Yeah, I will.